Thanks for staying with us for the news at noon. I'm Megan Reuther. The problem is screens aren't meant to keep kids in. A simple push and this is about to pop out, and that would be a really long fall. Fortunately, we don't have anything like that to deal with here in the metro, but we are dealing with some cold considering it's April at least. It is busy this morning. Patrick, did you go out shopping before you came to work today? Maybe score a few deals?
No.
Well, as you can see in this very thick edition of the Des Moines Register, it's stuffed, as they say. Whether it's dancing or playing sports, doctors say it's just important kids have fun and do something age appropriate. Saturday, the pick day, get outside, enjoy the weather this weekend. Thanks so much, Ariel. And thank you for joining us, WHOTV.com, for the latest headlines. Have a great Friday.
This is Channel 13 News at noon.
Thanks for staying with us for the news at noon. I'm Megan Reuther. Patrick has this afternoon off. Several people got sick this morning while visiting the doctor in West Des Moines after a chemical spill inside the clinic. Hazmat crews got to the Lakeview Family Medicine and Urgent Care Clinic on University Avenue just before 10 o'clock this morning. Channel 13's Aaron Brolbeck joins us live in West Des Moines with more on what happened. Good afternoon, Aaron. Okay, thanks so much. Aaron Brolbeck reporting for us live this afternoon. Crews in Boone County are investigating an accident between a train and a car that happened this morning. Officials responded to a call after 8 a.m. west of Ogden near G Avenue. A Boone County deputy says 2 people were in the car when the crash happened. An air ambulance took 1 person to a Des Moines hospital. We do not know the person's condition at this time. We do have a crew on the scene, and we'll have more information on our evening newscast and WHOTV.com. The crash comes just 11 days after 2 young girls died when a train hit their car in Batavia. Earlier this month, 25-year-old Tara Lumen was driving with her 3 daughters when she stopped at a train crossing. Police say 1 train was stopped on the tracks and Lumen drove around the crossing guards to get by. She was then hit by a 2nd train on another set of tracks. 2 of her daughters died in that crash. Lumen and her youngest daughter survived. A teenager accused of a carjacking that severely hurt a Des Moines man waived his preliminary hearing this morning. 16-year-old Kenneth Berry is being charged as an adult with 2 counts of first-degree robbery. He came in a Polk County courtroom shackled and wearing an orange jumpsuit, but he did not appear before a judge. His trial date has not been set. Police say Berry is one of 3 people who pulled 36-year-old Mike Wasike from his car and beat him on February 26th, then left him in the street. Wasike remains in the hospital. He was in a medically induced coma for weeks and suffered brain damage. 2 other teens are charged in the case. The Polk County Attorney's Office is asking a judge to charge 15-year-old Terrence Cheeks and LaShawn Murray as adults as well. Those hearings are scheduled for next month. The governor issued a disaster proclamation for 10 northwest Iowa counties. All 10 had damage from ice, with the hardest hit area in Lyon County. State resources will now be sent in to help remove debris in the area. Hundreds of people in Larchwood are still without power, and it could be this weekend before it's restored. In the southern part of the country, crews are cleaning up after a series of thunderstorms hit the area last night. At least 1 person is dead and thousands lost power. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has more from Alabama. Fortunately, we don't have anything like that to deal with here in the metro, but we are dealing with some cold, considering it's April at least. Time now to get a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Ariel Nixon at the Science Center of Iowa. You've had big crowds all day. Yeah, this morning I think you suggested people bring a blanket. I thought that was a good idea. Thanks so much, Ariel. Secretary of State John Kerry has arrived in South Korea as concern continues that the North intends to launch a missile test. And we've learned something more about the potential capability of North Korea's missiles. NBC's Jim Maceda has more from Seoul. Kerry will spend the rest of the day in South Korea and moves on to Beijing tomorrow. He plans to be back in the States next week. Governor Branstad and a delegation of more than 50 Iowans are on their way to China. They left from the Des Moines International Airport shortly before 8 o'clock this morning. During the 7-day trip, the governor plans to meet with China's president. The governor says the president is fond of Iowans, and he says it shows in recent trade agreements with China. The Iowa delegation will also visit Hebei to recognize the 30th anniversary of the sister-state relationship. 16 people started their day with more than just breakfast. Organizers say they're already looking forward to next year's nominations. You'll notice different decorations downtown along the Riverwalk this weekend. This morning, students, families, and volunteers hung more than 5,000 flags in preparation of Earth Day at the Principal Riverwalk. Earth Day is April 22nd. All the flags are made of recycled goods, and coordinators say everyone had to follow a certain theme. It's not too late to make your own flag. Des Moines Parks and Recreation is hosting an event next Wednesday at the Riverwalk from 3 to 5 where people can make their own flags. All the materials will be provided. The iCubs home opener is tonight, and that means crews at Principal Park have been busy getting ready. Crews were putting the final touches on the stadium yesterday. The iCubs take on the Albuquerque Isotopes at 7 o'clock tonight. Fans probably won't notice many changes between this year and last, but the players will. During the offseason, crews renovated the locker rooms. The Des Moines City Council approved financing the $1 million project last year. Tonight, fans will also get to enjoy fireworks after the game. Just make sure you bring your coats. How do you fit 13,000 fans into a 10,000-seat stadium? University of Iowa and Valley High School officials are looking for the answer before Sunday. Find out how they plan to accommodate a Hawkeye road trip.
Channel 13's Megan Reuther is live there this morning with more on what happened, Megan, and this is just heartbreaking. So many people have ties to this church.
It really is heartbreaking, and you can see what's left behind me of St. Paul's Lutheran Church here. Fire crews have been on the scene overnight, still putting out hot spots. Even this morning when we came to town off the interstate, we could see smoke coming from the exit. Last night when this happened, people from around the town and even outside communities came when they heard about the loss of a piece of history.
It's every town's worst nightmare to find their church on fire.
It's just horrifying. It just, so much history can go down and just flames, no time.
465 on scene, 2350.
We've been part of the Martinsdale community for over 100 years. It's just a very painful experience for many people.
We just started stringing out lines, trying to figure out which doors we could get in, if we could get into any of them. We weren't really able to get in at all.
Rapidly took over the building, and there was just no working it, no cutting it down. It just, it was too far gone before we were able to do anything.
My dad went to this church. I mean, my grandma went to this church. A lot of years gone. I was baptized here. My first communion was here. I met a lot of my friends here. This was my place to go when I was a kid, my safe house.
I just spoke to the fire chief to get an update moments ago, and he says this is the biggest fire he's ever fought in his career. He says he expects crews to be on the scene for about another 3 to 4 more hours. He says he'll contact the state fire marshal today, and then they'll start investigating the cause. Still no word on what may have caused this fire or where it actually started. This sounds and looks.
All right, let's go and get warmed up.
Like any exercise class. But look at the faces in the mirror, and you know this isn't your adult workout.
I'm 7.5.
12.
Jump side side.
This is a 6-week youth hip-hop class at the Altoona campus.
It's really fun, and I like doing it a lot.
Set. Here we go.
It's like Just Dance, playing it for a while.
For 45 minutes once a week, these kids trade in the video games and just dance for real.
There's just no pressure to do anything correctly. It's just move around, go nuts. Keep them going.
Certified personal trainer and fitness instructor Pat Smith teaches a couple classes for kids at the campus. He says it's important for people to move their muscles at an early age, and he has to get creative to get them moving.
You gotta match their energy levels all the time, and so in order to keep up with kids, you kind of have to let go and be a kid yourself.
Whether it's dancing or playing sports, doctors say it's just important kids have fun and do something age appropriate.
The way you should approach physical activity is based on your child's developmental level. So you want to focus on what motor skills they're actually able to do.
Dr. Amy Shriver with Blank Children's Pediatric Clinic says the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends all kids exercise an hour a day. And your kids should never go more than an hour without moving around.
You need to find ways to play with your children and make sure that they see you playing and exercising so that that becomes a part of their lifestyle on a regular basis.
Something these kids are already learning as they get an early start to a lifetime of healthy habits.
Woo! Good job.
In Altoona, Megan Reuther, Channel 13 News. 3-month-old twins Hayes and Emerson are pros at being photographed.
You know, these are pictures from when they were seconds, minutes old.
Their first professional pictures were taken in a Des Moines delivery room.
Oh, I'm gonna get emotional watching it. But you know, a lot of the shots that Andrea got were shots my husband never would have been able to get.
New mom Jennifer Harnett hired Andrea Olison to be her birth photographer.
It's inviting a professional in to capture, you know, one of the most emotionally intense days of your life.
Where are your toes?
Olison started capturing the intense moments a year ago after experiencing her own baby's birth.
I would have never thought about it until I got pregnant. I hired someone to come in and photograph our birth of our daughter last December, and the pictures just, they blew me away.
Olison took pictures and sometimes video of 17 births this past year. She says she does 2 a month and is constantly on call when a client is due.
It is a really challenging job to have. You have to be ready to get out of bed at 2 a.m., jump in the car and go and be there in 10 minutes and you know, be able to work with really dark light or, you know, bright light or, you know, be ready for pretty much anything. So
you'll only find a handful of birth photographers in the metro, but there is an International Association of Professional Birth Photographers, and that is growing.
There was just a contest for all of us in that group, and like last year I think there were 41 entries. This year there were 152.
Olison says people pay birth photographers $2 grand in other parts of the country. For now, she charges $500 to $800.
Moments we never would have. We get to relive them now all the time and get to remember those moments when they were born.
Moments no parent forgets, especially when the emotions are captured on camera. In Des Moines, Megan Reuther, Channel 13 News.